If you're ready to dive straight into an epic adventure in Baldur's Gate 3, but can't be bothered to spend an hour in the character creator, you can rely on one of the game's origin characters to get the job done. While they're all amazing, you have to start somewhere. Luckily, Game Rant's got you covered.
Out came the crossbow, and a hush fell over the entire room.
D&D players know that wizards have a reputation for making things go boom, particularly with a devastating fireball. Origin Gale makes for a decent introduction to the class. As the resident wizard among the available origins, he immediately gives players access to some of the game's most versatile spells. While players have the option of tinkering with Gale's eventual class and build, having a status effect in place whenever he gets hungry for magic items can make him a bit of a drag.
Far be it from me, of course, to question your tastes.
Hello, darling. Don't be shy.
Aside from being the resident seduction mascot of Baldur's Gate 3, the charming Asterion spices up gameplay with his nature as a vampire. The Mind Flayer parasite somehow allows him to survive in daylight, providing a layer of intrigue separate from his vampiric origins. His default class, Rogue, grants Asterion access to an expanded skill set that gives players opportunities to overcome RPG hiccups, such as traps, locked objects, and even stealth. This also encourages experimentation with gameplay elements, such as sneak attacks, incentivizing more creative ways to play.
Hero, Blade. Name strangers gave me. My friends call me Will.
Despite his initial appearance as a swashbuckler, Will Ravengard makes his surprising debut as a warlock in Baldur's Gate 3. Being a person who taps into power provided by a patron, selecting Will as one's main origin already implies interactions with an unseen force. Will's classification as a warlock gives him fewer spells compared to wizards and sorcerers, but he can also defend himself with weapons. A limited spell list can make it easier for fans to understand D&D spellcasting mechanics without sacrificing creative options. His inclination towards charisma can make him quite the ideal first character, covering the dialogue needs in the game.
Maybe once we've wrapped up the current shenanigans, we'll rest a bit and find some new heap of troubles to throw ourselves at.
Karlach the Tiefling makes an ideal Baldur's Gate 3 companion due to her stakes in both the story and the world of Faerun at large. Players who choose her and opt for her ideal class, the Barbarian, also get access to quite a decent tank.
That's incredible! Congratulations!
Unlike the straightforward fighter, the Barbarian can teach first-time players how to balance gameplay elements, maximizing damage output without being overwhelmed by spellcasting rules.
Excellent. If we ever become friends, I'll know what to call you.
Players who want a more local flavor to their first BG3 experience may want to choose Shadowheart as their first origin character. She's one of the first characters players will encounter in the game, and her amnesiac nature helps her become the reader insert that can immerse players in both Faerun culture and Shadowheart's eventual significance to the plot. Shadowheart's preferred class, the Cleric, can transform her into one of the most reliable characters in a combat setting.
Have we buried the hatchet, Lae'zel?
No. Why would I bury a weapon? Is it broken?
Newcomers who want to choose an origin for their first playthrough should consider the Githyanki Lae'zel. Transitioning into Lae'zel also makes sense for the game's starting cinematic. Lae'zel and her kind were shown to have the strongest motivation to fight the established villains.
My first step on this path is to slay a Mind Flayer and bring its head to my queen.
Not to mention her ideal class, the Fighter, is one of the most versatile classes in Baldur's Gate 3.
I've no doubt you will satisfy your tastes for endless conversation.
Hopefully that helps you choose your character for your first playthrough, but there ain't a bad one in the bunch. Check out our other articles and guides on Baldur's Gate 3 right here on Game Rant.
Oh, a drow, a dragonborn, and a cleric of Cyric walk into a bar.